Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Berkeley. I'm Reverend Marcus Liefert and I'm so glad to be with you. If you are visiting with us this morning, we want to especially welcome you. We hope that no matter who you are or how you make your living, no matter whom you love or how you experience the sacred, you will feel welcome among us here in the fullness of your being. Everyone's invited to linger after the service, make your way all the way across the atrium into the social hall for lunch. We are gathered here at the intersection of arts, justice, and spirituality, knowing that we gather on the unceded territory of the Chochenyo-speaking Ohlone people, Huchiyun. May we have the humility and the courage to do our part to repair what has been broken and live into a new solidarity with indigenous peoples and the earth. We have a memory book at the back of the sanctuary. If there's anything on your heart any Sunday that you would like lifted up aloud in our service, you can write it there along with your name and I'll share it in our prayer. Or you're always welcome to light a candle for a silent memory or prayer there as well. We are gathered today for a very special occasion. We are gathered for the ordination of Kathryn Jay. Kathryn Jay, who has been a member of this congregation for a long time, and then felt among us here the call to professional ministry, went in 2017 to our local Unitarian Universalist Seminary, Star King School for the Ministry, graduated in 2020, has served with other congregations, and of course, has been serving with us again here since this last summer as our Director of Family Ministries. It is a pleasure, an honor, and a very exciting day to ordain Kathryn Jay to the Unitarian Universalist Ministry. It'll be a little bit different kind of a service today. We're not going to have a sermon. We're going to have a whole bunch of other people involved. We don't have any time to sing the kids out, so kids, you're welcome to stay in the service the whole time. There is childcare. You're welcome to go to childcare anytime too, which is out in the preschool just across the way out there. We don't have any religious education in part because our wonderful Director of Family Ministry, Kathryn Jay, has been making this great program grow, and she's going to be in the service all day today, and we don't have enough volunteers yet to make the program happen without her. She's been doing such a great job growing the program, but she can't do it alone, and so this is also your moment to think, maybe I want to be part of teaching religious education. Maybe I want to work with these fabulous kids we've got coming to church. So let Kathryn know if that's the case for you. All right. Once more, welcome. So glad you're here. Let's rise in body or in spirit. And before we sing our first hymn, I want to invite you to turn around and just wave to the camera to welcome all of those who are joining us on YouTube or Facebook. So glad you are here. We can feel you with us here in spirit. And turn and greet your neighbor. Just welcome them. Wish them a happy Sunday.
Wake now, my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limit and praise the sublime. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take as your neighbor both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now, I vision my ministry clear. Brighten my pathway with radiance here. Mingle my calling with all who will share. Work toward a planet transformed by our care.
We're going to, please indulge us while we do a chalice lighting that our family has been enjoying doing since we first had the delight of finding this community when these folks were about 6 years old. So if this happens to be a chalice lighting that you also know and love, please feel free to join in. We light this chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism. May it remind us of the divine spark in all creation, the power of love to heal what is broken, and mindful for life's blessings each day.
Sasha, don't touch it. Good. Sasha.
Ready?
Grace, ready. Yeah, okay.
1 and 2 and.
It's a blessing you were born, and it matters what you do. What you know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty you love be what you do, and you don't have to do it alone.
It's a blessing you were born,
It's a blessing you were born,
and it matters what you do.
What you know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty you love be what you do, and you don't have to do it alone.
It's a blessing you were born.
It's
and
a
it
blessing
matters
you
what
were
you do,
born,
what
and
you
it
know
matters
about
what you do,
God
what
is
you
a
know
piece of
about
the truth.
God
Let
is
the
a piece
beauty
of the
you
truth.
love
Let the
be
beauty
what you
you
do,
love
and you don't
be
have
what
to
you
do it
and you don't
alone.
have
One more
to
time.
do it
It's a
alone.
blessing you were born,
It's
and
a
it matters
blessing
what
you
you
were
do,
born,
what
and
you
it
know
matters what
about
you do,
God
what
is a
you know
piece of the
about
truth.
God
Let
is
the
a piece
beauty
of the
you
truth.
love
Let the
be
beauty
what you
you
do,
love
and you
be
don't have
what
to
you
do it
and you don't
alone.
have to do it alone.
Well, now I'd like to lower the key a little bit and do a call and response with everyone. So the first time through, I'm going to sing It's a Blessing You Were Born, and you sing back to me, It's a Blessing I Was Born. And then the second time through, I'll sing It's a Blessing We Were Born, and you sing back It's a Blessing We Were Born. So you ready? Okay, sorry it's so low. It's a blessing you were born,
It's a blessing I was born,
and it matters what you do,
and it matters what I do.
what you know about God
What I know about God
is a piece of the truth.
is a piece of the truth.
Let the beauty you love
Let the beauty I love
be what you do,
be what I do,
and you don't have to do it alone.
and I don't have to do it alone.
It's a blessing we were born,
It's a blessing we were born,
and it matters what we do,
and it matters what we do.
what we know about God
What we know about God
is a piece of the truth.
is a piece of the truth.
Let the beauty we love
Let the beauty we love
be what we do,
be what we do,
and we don't have to do it alone. 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 Cha cha cha.
Thank you so much, Laurel, for being here with us.
Can I hand these in? No. I want to tell you a story this morning about a community on a hill. Now, most mornings when I stand up here, my stories start with once upon a time. They might feature a hippo swallowing a storm, or a cranky hedgehog, or very often a village that features a wise person who solves the problems. This is not one of those stories. I guess at this point everyone knows that we are ordaining me this morning, and so I could tell you a story about me. This is not one of those stories either. Maybe later. This is a story about this community on a hill, and the way that this community has, since it has arrived up here and probably before that, nurtured and honored and lifted up people who decide that they want to become ministers. This is a place that has done that for decades. And I feel like it's really important that you know that story, that you understand this is a place that does that all the time. Not that you keep very good records about it. I am a historian by training, and this was a tough assignment to figure out who has this community ordained in the past. So by my counts, I think that I'm number 25. There have been since 1967, I couldn't go back before that. Since 1967, there have been about 24 people So I'm number 25, though honestly I could be 29 or 36. It's unclear. Nevertheless, 24 people have come through, and you have taken them in, raised them up, and sent them out into the world. And so I just want to tell you about a few of them. And so if I could get my child volunteers to come on up here. Henry, Stella 1, Stella 2, Vivian, and Sasha. Oh, and Asa, yep. Come on up. Do I have 5 or 6? Okay, I need 6. Where'd Vivian and Sasha go? They left. Okay, we'll make do. A basketball practice, it happens. Okay, we'll go with 4. Okay, actually, if I could get Annabelle J to come on up. Okay. So, I just want to tell you a little bit about some of the different people that you've ordained and why it matters. And we're going to start with Orlando Brugnola. This is Orlando Brugnola right here. And what y'all did for Orlando is you said, we ordain you. You placed a stole around her shoulders. You laid your hands on her, and then you sent her out into the world. She went to Brooklyn, where she spent about 30 years as a minister in Brooklyn. You ordained her in 1979, when 6% of UU ministers were women. Wow. So she was one of the first women to go out. She spent 30 years in Brooklyn. She taught philosophy at Rikers Island Prison. She made a difference in the world, and y'all helped make that happen. Yes. This right here is Sean Parker Dennison. We can move the slides forward too. One more. There you go. Sean Parker Dennison. You ordained Sean in 2000. Sean was one of the very first trans ministers in the UU denomination, and he went out and helped found an organization for trans professionals and has been a prophetic voice for the last 25 years in the denomination. Thank you, Sean. Where is my Aya? Are you Aya? This is Aya Simpson. Aya Simpson was a child of this congregation. Started coming when she was 4 or 5, and y'all helped bring her call into the world, bring her vocation, and she was ordained here in 2013 and has gone on to have a prophetic preaching voice, first in Pennsylvania, now in Marin, and has made a difference in the world because of y'all. This is Sue Magidson, also ordained in 2013. It was a banner year here at the church. And Sue came and never left. Became a community minister of the church, sitting right over there, and became a chaplain at a local hospital, making a difference in the world. And finally, last but not least, this is Reverend Zachary Vinson. Who was an intern here and then stayed on to do RE, and then went off to Washington to both be a minister and to be a mental health professional. And y'all helped make that happen. So these are just 5 of the 24 people that y'all have raised up and sent out to make an enormous difference in the world. And so as you're sitting there today, you might be next. And if not you, One of your children could be next. So just think about that as you go through the weeks here. Somebody here might be called, and we are a community that raises them up and sends them out to do good in the world. And that is my story. You can keep the stoles.
Beloved is where we begin. If you would enter into the wilderness, do not begin without a blessing. Do not leave without hearing who you are. Beloved, named by the one who has traveled this path before you. Do not go without letting it echo in your ears. And if you find it is hard to let it into your heart, do not despair. That is what this journey is for. I cannot promise this blessing will free you from danger, from fear, from hunger or thirst, from the scorching of the sun or the fall of the night. But I can tell you that on this path will be hope. I can tell you that on this way there will be rest. I can tell you that you will know the strange graces that come to our aid only on a road such as this, that fly to meet us, bearing comfort and strength, that come alongside us for no other cause than to lean themselves toward our ear and with their curious insistence whisper our name. Beloved, beloved, beloved.
I invite you to take a deeper breath, to settle more comfortably in your seat, to feel your connection down to this good, this holy earth. To turn inward with me. Sometimes it's the minister's job to make sure the tables and chairs are set up. Sometimes it's the minister's job to change the hymn in the middle of the service. And sometimes it's the minister's job to plunge the toilet. Sometimes it's the minister's job to sit between two people who just want to yell at each other. Sometimes it's the minister's job to share bad news. Sometimes it's the minister's job to ask an uncomfortable question. Sometimes it's the minister's job to say, "I'm sorry." Sometimes it's the minister's job to climb up high on a ladder and hang the stars. Sometimes it's the minister's job to dig a hole in the ground. Sometimes it's the minister's job to tell a story to children. Sometimes it's the minister's job to pray with someone who's dying. Sometimes it's the minister's job to lay down and take a nap. And sometimes it's the minister's job to pound the earth and wail at the sea. It's a lucky thing, a privilege, to name as our job the tasks that every human life must do. May ministry move through you. May ministry move through you when you take in the news, letting it find its proper place in the length and depth of the story of the universe. Meaningful, but not to overshadow your life. May ministry move through you when family makes its demand on your life, and you discover there are still new moves to make in every old dance, and that intimacy reveals every life's unending complexity. May ministry move through you when you come across haunted eyes and allow your own vulnerability to be touched by another, coming into contact with life's excruciating need to break your heart open. May ministry move through you when you see hunger and offer bread, when you hear agony and offer tenderness, when you feel trembling and offer comfort, when you taste bitterness and offer up the sweetness of your own soul's longing. Holy ground of beings, God of many names and beyond all naming, remind us today that every one of us is called to bring a balm to where it hurts, to make hope in the face of despair, to shape justice in place of tyranny, to hold joy amidst the suffering, to love one another, neighbor and stranger alike. In this place, in this quiet, in this stillness we share, every one of us is called. In this community of care and witness, we hold one another through the seasons of our lives. We lift up those joys and sorrows among us. Today we hold Barbara and Patrick, whose thoughts and prayers are with family as we mourn the passing of cousin Whitey and learn of the confirmed diagnoses of Alzheimer's for Sister Nancy and prostate cancer for her husband Bill. Natalie Campbell invites us to please send prayers to my oldest and dearest friend from high school, Jennifer. Her mother has entered hospice care after many years of Alzheimer's. Andrea Brewer-Thompson invites sending love and connection to cousins Anya and Jack, and to healing to them as well. Someone we offer prayers for Lucas and his mental health, and Charlotte Jay, that she can grow into a healthy and strong baby. Someone offers prayers, may everyone be warm in this cold winter. My landlord just turned off the heat. The past 3 days, it registers 61. Be kind to others. May warmth return. And prayers for healing and love and hope for Sherry, who is working to overcome cancer. May those who are accompanying her also be strengthened with love. For these that we have named, and for all that yet remains in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts, may we know that anything we hold here in this sanctuary or wherever you are joining us from is held in the loving embrace of this community, and by that love beyond all naming, the love that cannot and will not let us go. May it be so, and amen. We remain seated as we sing together, Spirit of Life.
Sweet Hello, everyone. Joyfully, we have arrived at the sacred act of the ordination of Kathryn Jay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, she's ready. In the living tradition of Unitarian Universalism, the authority to confer ordination lies wholly with each individual church. It is a profound and joyous occasion when a congregation joins together, as we have, to recognize one who has answered the call to ministry as her life's work. Now, in this sacred moment, and by the authority of the vote of the congregation, it is our privilege to ordain you. Kathryn, are you prepared to embark formally and fully upon a path of ministry?
Yes, I am.
Yay. I invite the members of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Berkeley to rise in body and in spirit. Together, we acknowledge our own calling to be active partners in our covenantal faith. Together, we affirm our commitment to the shared ministry of Unitarian Universalism. Are we prepared now to live our commitment by conferring ordination upon Kathryn Jay?
Yes, we are.
Let us join together in reciting the rite of ordination. By the authority of our living tradition, we, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Berkeley, joyfully ordain you as the Reverend Kathryn Jay to the Unitarian Universalist. May your ministry from your whole self, heart and mind, body and spirit. May you celebrate the mystery and wonder of life, embody the living tradition of our faith, and above all, serve the world with compassion and love. Will all family, friends, and colleagues who wish to add their blessings also rise, if you have not already, in body or spirit, and join in affirmation of this ordination? Kathryn, joy and pride, we affirm our ordination today and offer our blessings upon your path. May your ministry nourish you, and may it be a source of love, justice, and healing for you and for the world.
With deep gratitude and joy, I humbly accept the privileges and responsibilities of Unitarian Universalist ministry. With love, courage, and humor guiding my way, I pledge myself to nurture compassion and hope, to work to create wholeness and justice in our world, and to embody the living tradition of our faith. I know that I cannot do it alone. I ask for your love and your support as I take up the ministry.
Kathryn, go forth, a minister in this tradition, knowing that the hearts of all those gathered here today are with you. Will the people say amen?
Amen.
Woo. And Cynthia Asperdides has the honor of bestowing the stole.
Yes, I do. It's my honor on behalf of this congregation to present you with your stole. Coming in a minute. When you wear it, think of this day and our love for you.
It is such a joy to be here today. I mentioned earlier to some folks that I feel a bit like a salmon returning home, just this time to ordain a friend and colleague. The act of laying on hands is an ancient one that is meant to represent the transfer of spiritual power from one individual or community to another. It's an act of healing, an act of blessing, an act of investiture, an act of ordination. As Unitarian Universalists, like many other traditions, we make use of this powerful action to mark an individual as a minister. For us, this ritual serves as a reminder of our interconnected nature and a calling of an individual from among us to serve. Kathryn, is that great? I'm so excited to be here with all of you. But because you didn't make this journey alone, I now would like to invite Kathryn's family to come forward onto the chancel and to place a hand on Kathryn's shoulder in blessing. Come on up. Thank you. Feel the love of those gathered around you. But wait, there's more. I now would like to invite all of those friends who have traveled to be here today of Kathryn's to come forward and place a hand on someone's shoulder or on Kathryn's shoulder to connect with one another. At this time, I ask for all of Kathryn's colleagues and other religious professionals present to come forward and join in the interconnected web we create. Do you feel the love? And now, as you are willing and able, I invite the rest of the congregation to come forward, that we might join together in one strong body to bless Kathryn and her ministry. And as we continue to come forward, linking together, I invite us to take a breath And because we are just a link in the great chain of humanity that stretches through the ages, at this time I invite you in your mind to call forth the presence of our ancestors, of that great cloud of witnesses who have gone before us, that they might be present here with us in this space to bless Kathryn. In the presence of each other and in the presence of our ancestors, I offer this prayer. Kathryn, you are gathered at the center of concentric circles of love, care, and connection, surrounded by the presence of all of those seen and unseen. Take a moment and take this love in. Take this power in as we bless your ministry. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Spirit of laughter and mystery beyond all naming, be with us in this moment. Be present with Kathryn, that she might be emboldened with courage to do the work that she is called to do in the world. We gather today in a time when the earth cries out, where animals and people cry out in pain at the injustices of the world. Make Kathryn a balm of healing against pain and injustice. Make her a fount of love that inspires others to love more deeply, to love more fully. May this prayer and the prayers and blessings of all of us gathered today be with Kathryn in this moment and in all the days ahead. May it be so. Amen. We may return to our seats.
When I was a girl each week, on Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest, and he would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still, and now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything, everything, everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven's heaven raid hand me down. Now I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face and say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come, say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, I saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out how things have changed since then, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now.
Kathryn, today, before the God of your understanding and this gathered congregation, you take your place in a lineage of perfectly imperfect people who, for centuries, have devoted some portion of their lives to the care, religious education, and spiritual growth of the body of people that is the church. You have been called out of this congregation to take on the mantle of ministry. As you know, it is no small thing, and as we know, you are ready. But I want to warn you, there is no going back. I too was called from among the people of my congregation to serve as one of their ministers. I thought somehow I would be the exception. After my ministry there, I dreamed of going back to sing in the choir, still be among the people who had called me into community, brought me into my young adulthood. We even made sure to write it that way in my letter of agreement. But it was not possible. Too much had changed. I couldn't go back to just being a member, just one among the people. And I don't regret it for a minute. It was so worth it. May your ministry here among these people be just so worth it. So I charge you this morning with 3 things. First, trust the people. Resist the tendency that enchants some of our colleagues to concentrate the ministry in the hands of the ordained clergy. Rather, your job is to keep handing the ministry back to the people, to empower them to care for one another, to mutually nourish and grow their spiritual lives, to learn and teach together. Trust the people. Second, let yourself be moved. Keep turning towards those you serve, the broader community around this church, and this beautiful and broken world. Keep opening your heart. Allow it to break again and again. Let yourself be moved. And third, take care of yourself and your family. Your relationships with yourself and your closest loved ones are crucial, especially in these times. Take time for your spiritual practices. Take time for play and daydreaming and the things that nourish you. Take time to connect with Elizabeth and your young adult children, your friends and colleagues beyond this community. This is essential soul care. Without it, you will not be of much use to anyone else. So take care of yourself and your family. It's a great privilege to be with you here today and with this congregation this morning. I believe in the ministry you all will do together. Our little corner of the world here on the North Bay of this San Francisco Bay needs for this Unitarian Universalist community to thrive. I'm delighted to count you among my ordained colleagues. Welcome.
Unitarian Universalist Church of Berkeley. We were talking just a few weeks ago about that moment a few hundred years ago, the Reformation, when the invention of the printing press completely upended the epistemological consensus of the time. Anybody with me? Do you remember I was talking about that? Okay, a few of you at least. All right, don't worry, you'll catch up. So we were talking about that moment, and that moment which, after generation by generation by generation, religious people turning to a new understanding of where spiritual and religious authority comes from, changed their relationship to their ministry, changed their role of the clergy among them. Eventually, this long history leads to a group calling themselves Unitarian Universalists declaring lofty beliefs in the free and responsible search for truth and meaning, and the right of every individual's conscience. But along the way, other groups decided, who were similar to us, that they didn't really need clergy after all. Our close cousins in that radical wing of the Reformation, the Quakers, said, why would we have a minister anyway if we got rid of our sacraments? If we got rid of the need for a person to intermediate between the individual and the holy? And the question has remained for us, what good is a minister anyway? We who certainly have no use for an intermediary between each of us and God, or whatever you name ultimate reality. We who count among our spiritual ancestors such free thinkers as the transcendentalists and the humanists, we held on to the office of minister. And maybe it's just so that we have someone who we can keep working out our authority issues with. Might be especially valuable these days. Sometimes we've said it's because we need a learned ministry to hold on to this tradition. Until just a few decades ago, Unitarian ministers did not wear these stoles that now have become a symbol of ordination, but just the black robes, and not because they had any holy or spiritual meaning, but because they were the Geneva robes, the academic robes that marked the learned ministry. But in the past few decades, our understanding of ministry has transformed. The learned ministry began to seem somewhat insufficient as people looked for more emotional presence and spiritual leadership from their ministers. And our inner image of one who can perform the role of minister has transformed as well. Honestly, the people who founded this church in 1891 could not have dreamed that we would be ordaining Kathryn Jay, a lesbian mother of two, married to a Jewish woman who just celebrated her adult bat mitzvah yesterday. Mazel tov, Elizabeth. I know many of you were there. Couldn't have imagined ordaining her to our ministry. I don't even think the people who moved up here to the hill, who built this building in 1961, were imagining ordaining queer ministers. And half of them up here, these lesbian moms, half the ministers in our service today, and half of the other half, children of them. Or that one of the first trans UU ministers mentioned earlier that this congregation ordained, couldn't have imagined that that's who we would be calling into religious leadership. Or that 3 of the past 24 ministers ordained by this congregation would be women of color. Do you imagine the people who gathered to build this place couldn't have dreamed of it? We are a living tradition. And that means we are going to keep wrestling with this question of what is the role of a minister? The people who study churches sometimes ask this question by asking, who does the church belong to? The minister? In our tradition, clearly not. The membership? But is that the current membership, or is that the founding membership? Or maybe is that the membership of the next 300 people to come? No, I agree with those who conclude that the most satisfying answer to this question is none of the above. The congregation belongs to something greater than the personalities who inhabit it. The congregation belongs to its calling, to its mission. No minister can hold that alone. Unitarian Universalist Church of Berkeley, I charge you on this occasion of your ordination of Kathryn Jay, one among you who was called to the ministry by the ministry you shared with her. I charge you to hold tight to your mission. Not just the words we say each Sunday, but the passionate imagination I know you hold of what our faith can be. I'm not exactly sure what goes into the alchemy of making a good minister. There's seminary and becoming equipped with a certain set of skills. There's spiritual practice and theological grounding. There are a lot of ways that people learn to be a good minister, and it's not exactly clear always what makes a minister good at their work. But I do know what makes a minister great, and what makes a ministry great. Because it's the quality of relationship with the people who they serve. A community living its values, dedicated and passionate, a congregation invested in their mission and their shared ministry, that's what makes good ministers great. May you bless Kathryn's ministry with your own call to serve alongside her. May we together have the courage and commitment to be the blessing we know our world so badly longs for. May it be so, and amen.
Winter is the oldest season. Quietly beneath the snow, seeds are stretching out and reaching, faithful as the morning glow. Carry nothing but what you must. Let it go, shake off the dust. Today is now, tomorrow beckons. Keep practicing resurrection. Shadows of this world, there's no hope, why try anyway? But every kindness, large or slight, shifts the balance toward the light. Waters wide and open wide, lean in toward the light. Don't just walk when you can fly, lean in toward the light. When justice seems in short supply, lean in toward the light. Let beauty be your truest guide. Lean in toward the light. There, shadows of this world, there's no hope, why try anyway? But every kindness, large or slight, shifts the balance toward the light. The prayer I pray at eventide, lean in toward the light. All left undone be put aside, lean in toward the light. When forgiveness is hard to find, lean in toward the light. Help me at least to be kind, lean in toward the light. Lean in toward the light. Lean in toward the light. Lean in toward the light.
Hello again. I'm Helen Tinsley Jones, co-president of the Board of Trustees. In our covenantal community, we share the responsibility for pursuing our mission by giving generously of our time, talent, and treasure. I invite you to support the work of our church by giving electronically by scanning the QR code on the back of your badge, or by putting a cash or check donation into the donation envelope that you'll find in the back of the pew in front of you, and then put it into the donation box beside the fountain in the atrium as you leave. Each week, half of our offering is shared with a nonprofit Good Neighbor organization. The Good Neighbor for this month is Through the Looking Glass, and I'll invite Natalie Campbell to tell us more. And thank you for your generous donations.
Good morning. Megan Kirschbaum really wanted to be here to give this talk about her organization, but she's not able to be here, and so I'm going to read what she had written. Through the Looking Glass grew out of the disability civil rights movement and has always had a social justice perspective. We provide child development, OT, and mental health services annually to more than 300 families when a baby, child, parent, or caregiving grandparent has a disability or medical condition. Mostly services are during weekly home visits. We also have an early Head Start infant toddler center, do parenting groups, and play groups. 90% of the families are low-income families of color, many different cultures, many immigrants. We support parents from the beginning of their experience having an infant with a disability, while providing developmental services to maximize the potential of their baby. We support older children with disabilities and their families too, like a 9-year-old girl who became a wheelchair user when struck by a stray bullet from the street while in her apartment. Our OTs provide parenting adaptations like adapted cribs and walkers with infant seats for parents with physical disabilities. A mother with quadriplegia said she had thought she'd just be a passive observer of others caring for her baby. But with parenting adaptations, she was the main caregiver of her baby. And our therapists also support families when a parent has a disability. For example, a 3-year-old's father was still in a rehab hospital from an injury that caused quadriplegia. He didn't have use of his hands or arms and used a motorized wheelchair, and at that point had a tracheostomy, so he couldn't even speak to his little son. Since the injury, the little boy had become afraid of his father, was having nightmares about monsters, and the Through the Looking Glass therapist had the little boy play with a child-sized motorized wheelchair since his dad's disability equipment was scary. And she set up play the boy and father could do together, like simple computer games and painting side by side, the father holding the paintbrush in his mouth. Gradually, the little boy's fears subsided, and he rediscovered his father. These are just a few real-life examples of the way Through the Looking Glass provides invaluable assistance to people in our community. Any donations would be greatly appreciated to keep our work going. Thank you.
Will you join me in saying the words of dedication of our offering? We dedicate our offering and ourselves to the mission of this congregation to create loving community, inspire spiritual growth, and encourage lives of integrity, joy, and service.
Buenas tardes. Me llamo Chalice Tomador. My name is Chalice Tomador. And Kathryn, I am so pleased and so proud to be your colleague. I am the Connections Coordinator here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Berkeley. If you're new to our church and you'd like to learn more about how to get connected, I welcome you to find me or any of the greeters at the welcome table in the atrium after the service. To find out what's happening in the life of our community, you can always check the news link on the homepage of our website, where you'll find our weekly email newsletter the week ahead. This week, I want to especially lift up the following. On February 23rd, we have our congregational meeting. And please remember to vote for the candidates for the Board of Trustees. You can watch the candidate statements on our website, where you will also find the link to vote. We kindly ask that if you are physically able, please park in the back and north parking lots. This will leave the spaces near the main entrance available for those with mobility challenges. Your thoughtfulness helps ensure everyone can easily access our community. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. And today for lunch, we're celebrating Kathryn's ordination with a self-service taco bar at her request in the social hall with cake, brownies, and punch. I hope you can join us. Now let's rise once more in body or spirit and join in singing a closing song, hymn number 1064, Blue Boat Home.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea.
I'd like you to ask you to reach out and take a hand. Put your hand on someone's shoulder. If you're at the end of the row, you can raise your hand acknowledging the people who are on Zoom with us or YouTube. Do not go without a blessing. Remember that you are beloved, beloved, beloved. Let us go out into the world holding that in our heart so that we can remind others that they too are beloved, beloved, beloved. Go in peace.